Hello and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson, and today the next iteration of D&D. I'm not sure what we're calling it now. We're not calling it One D&D anymore, so we're not going to use that name anymore. D&D 2024, the playtest packet, Unknown Arcana Playtest 6 is out. It is over 70 pages long, and it covers 7 classes. So we'll cover all those, but this video is going to focus on one class in particular, the Monk. The Monk we've not seen at all throughout this whole playtest endeavor, this journey, this grand journey of change. We've not seen the Monk at all as being MIA, is finally here. Let's take a look finally at what the new Monk looks like. As always, this playtest material is available on dndbeyond.com. Alright, so the Monk. Primary ability scores, still Dexterity and Wisdom. There's a bit of flavor text there, and we've got handy dandy design notes telling us what's changed. Alright, so the martial arts die has been, starts with a d6, around a d4 for its martial arts die, and that die applies only to unarmed strikes, not weapons. Weapons are not now enhanced by weapon mastery to keep up with other classes. The Monk's unarmed strikes need this damage boost, which goes up to a d12 rather than a d10, and we've got a little chart here. So rather than a d4, we actually can punch for a d6 here, and it goes up to a d8, then d10s, and then finally d12. So it's a big increase. Looks like Kai points have been renamed to discipline points. Looks like the same progression there. I see your level is number of points you have. Still got your unarmed movement and various class features, which we'll go into in a sec. Most of which looks pretty similar. Now we're going to see what they've done with the Monk here. I personally feel there's definitely a lot of designs in the original Monk that were poorly done, poorly handled, and I'm interested to see if they correct any of those. Alright. What changes we got? But yeah, the damage die increase is definitely a much needed change. Very minor change. Looking at like averaging increasing damage output by 1 per hit. There. It's not a huge bump, but it's definitely a necessary one. Alright, weapon mastery is now a first level feature, giving you new ways to use weapons. Okay, we've got martial discipline, formerly Kai, is an improved version of Step of the Wind, which now lets you take the disengage and the dash action at the same time. Oh, okay. Deflect missiles has been redesigned. Easy to use in more situations and deal more damage on average. Okay. Heightened metabolism is now a 7th level feature, making it easier for the Monk to regain discipline points and gain other benefits of a short rest. Okay. So still doing short rest things. There seem to be a lot of moving away from short rest quite a lot, but maybe not with the Monk. Leaving Alice lonesome actually, because pretty much everyone else isn't very reliant on short rest at all now. Like Warlocks and all that got that big change. So it's a bit strange. How's the Monk and the party gonna... Hey guys, can we short rest? No one else cares about short rests but me? Uh-oh. Guys, can we please wait an hour between fights? No? Alright. Stunning Strike can now be used only once per turn, and the stun status lasts until the start of your next turn. Oh, that's a huge nerf. Okay, we'll look into that in more detail and exact write-up on that, but that's a massive nerf for the Monk. Empowered Strikes, formerly Kai Empowered Strikes, now lets you deal force damage. I think it's a slight nerf actually, that one, but we'll get into more detail on that soon. Acrobatic Movement is the new name for unarmed movement. Okay, Self-Restoration places Stillness of Mind, Purity of Body, and Timeless Body, and allows you to remove the conditions as a bonus action, not an action. Cool. Deflect Energy is a new 13th level feature, allowing you to use deflect missiles to deflect any type of ranged attack, including spell attacks. It replaces Tongue of the Sun and Moon, one of the lowest rated Monk features. That was a nice ribbon, I guess. Disciplined Survivor was formerly called Diamond Soul. Superior Defense, formerly Empty Body, has been redesigned to not rely on spells. Perfect Discipline, formerly Perfect Self, is moved from 20th level to 15th level. Defy Death is a new 20th level feature. Alright. So Monk, create a Monk. Let's see. Still a D8 hit die for the Monk, which is on the low side, especially because it's one of the 3 martial classes, like in theory, or warrior group, should I say. you could have, which is the fighter and the barbarian. So fighter, barbarian, monk are the 3 warriors. In theory, when making a party, you can select any one of these 3 warrior types, and you'll be good to go. So in theory, a monk can fulfill the same kind of class niche, group party niche, as the fighter and the barbarian. Which I don't think they can with a D8 hit die, because generally you want someone up front taking the hits, and a monk's not doing that. So I'm not sure how that works. And how that warrior grouping doesn't really work out. Anyway, so still that. Preferences, strength and dexterity. Skills, choose 2 between acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Weapons, simple weapons only. So gone monk weapons, really. Just use simple weapons. Choose one type of artisan's tools or musical instrument. Armor training, none. Alright. Got some basic standing equipment. Order casting is the same. It's 13 and amongst prone abilities, dexterity and wisdom. Yep. Alright. So, starting at level 1, the monks get martial arts. Surprise, surprise. Your practice of martial arts gives you mastery of combat styles that use your unarmed strike and simple weapons. You gain the following benefits while you are unarmed or wielding only simple weapons, and you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield. So we've got the bonus unarmed strike. When you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a simple weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action on the same turn. So that's a free punch you can get in there. Dexterous attacks. You can use your dexterity to your strength for the attack and the damage rolls of your unarmed strikes and simple weapons, except those that have the two-handed property. So this is all standard monk stuff. Nothing's really changed here. Martial arts die. You can roll a d6 in place of the normal damage of your unarmed strike. This die changes as you gain monk levels, as shown in the martial arts column of the monk table. So that's been bumped up from a d4, scaling up all those dice. But it also owes only for the unarmed strike. It does not affect your weapon die at all anymore. So, maybe when if there's a new version of Kensai Monk or something, they will have something to help them out there when they're using weapons. But base monk, it's just punching die. All right. Also at first level, you get unarmored defense. While you aren't wearing any armor or wielding a shield, your base armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity and wisdom modifiers. So you're probably, assuming you're starting with dex 16, wisdom 16, that is plus 3 plus 3, so that was your arm class. It's probably starting out at 16, which is very low for if you're a frontliner. So your D8 hit die and still got the 16 AC start there, which doesn't get very high because there's not many ways to get that higher. Some rare magic items and things. So I really thought they were going to bump this, like maybe make it base 12 plus dex plus wisdom or something like that, or add proficiency bonus in here, or do something to get this a bit higher. So I feel like monks really needed the help there. Either that or give them a D10 hit die to get a little bit more health and a little bit more durable in the front there. But no, it's not the case. So I'm not sure what the monk's supposed to do in the front lines at all. Just not, I guess. So yeah. Alright. Weapon mastery. First level, your training with weapons allows you to use the mastery property of 2 kinds of simple weapons of your choice, such as daggers and spears. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can change the kinds of simple weapons you choose. For example, you could switch to using the mastery properties of maces and slings. So you get access to the weapon mastery system that was shown in a previous Unearthed Arcana. It is here as well in this document. From my looking over it, it doesn't seem to have changed at all from previously. Look, nothing jumped out at me as having changed with any of the abilities there. It's a weapon mastery table, so okay, which is interesting. We'll get that up in another video. We'll look over the rules and things. But yeah, it's the refresher on that, but it is nothing really changed there for weapon mastery. So basically, you have access to weapon mastery and a few extra bonus effects there when hitting people with some simple weapons. Alright. which is probably going to be topple, because topple's the best one. Just, hey, I hit you, do a saving throw, you're prone. Excellent. Spam prone condition everywhere. Alright, second level martial discipline. Your self-discipline and martial training allow you to harness a well of extraordinary energy within yourself. Your access to this energy is represented by a number of discipline points. Your monk level determines the number of points you have as shown in the discipline points column of the monk table. You can spend these points to fuel various martial discipline features. You start knowing 3 such features: Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind. You learn more martial discipline features as you gain levels in this class. When you spend a discipline point, it is unavailable until you finish a short rest or long rest, at the end of which you regain all your expended points. Some of your martial discipline features require you to target to make a saving throw to resist a feature's effects. The saving throw DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier. These are Flurry of Blows. Immediately after you take an attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 discipline point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. Patient Defense, you can spend 1 discipline point to take the dodge action as a bonus action. Step of the Wind, you can spend 1 discipline point to take both the disengage and dash actions as a bonus action, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. Alright, so a few things to unpack here. Disengage and dash combined is nice rather than Step of the Wind. You have to choose between disengaging and dashing. That's nice. Little bump there, but there's still like Kai points or discipline points now. I know they're talking about spirit points for a while, but discipline points is what they settled on by looks. Really rolls off the tongue. They still got, they got no points equal to their level. They still come back a short rest. And yeah, like, that's basically the same as normal monk. They haven't changed it at all. They've changed the name. It is basically the same. And also, I'll get to it in a sec, but so they haven't changed anything. I thought one of the biggest issues with monk, which I thought they were going to fix, and clearly decide not to do any major changes here at all with the monk, is they don't have enough discipline points. No, key points, discipline points. They don't have enough. Especially early levels where you're only a couple and you use those straight away and you can't do anything for a while. And especially if your party has a short rest between every fight, which most parties don't short rest between every fight, you use your abilities up real quick in first round combat and then can't really do anything. And suddenly you're just a bad fighter for the rest of it. So I really thought they were going to do something to help the monk, especially those early levels. Some other method of refreshing to some points. Spend an action, get them back or something like that. Like, short rest is ages. Either that or why charging them to use the abilities? Why charging for Step of the Wind when the rogue basically does it for free? I don't understand. They're using up their bonus actions already to activate these abilities. Why charge them too? I don't understand. Would it really break the game just the monk could just flurry blows just every turn? Is that really that bad? I feel like that would actually solve their damage output and issues and the resource issues if they could just do that. Yeah, that's just me, I guess. Monk's still going to be very resource poor, and they've not solved that at all so far. Alright. Anyway. Also at second level, unarmed movement. Your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield. This bonus increases when you reach certain monk levels, as shown in the monk table. Alright. Third level, deflect missiles. You can use your reaction to deflect ranged attacks against you that deal bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. When you do so, the damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your monk level. If you reduce the damage to 0, you can spend 1 discipline point to redirect the attack toward another creature. If you do so, choose a creature within 60 feet of yourself that isn't behind total cover. That creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take damage equal to the 2 rolls of your martial arts die. The damage is the same type dealt by the attack. I'm not sure how often deflect missiles gets used. I definitely have not seen it had much play. But sure, there we go. Deflect missiles. Third level, get your monk subclass, which in this playtest we've got Warrior of Mercy, Warrior of Shadow, Warrior of the Four Elements, or Warrior of the Open Hand. Subclasses detailed in the class's description. For this playtest, use Way of Mercy from Tasha's. Okay. Warrior of Mercy. Okay, so apparently Warrior of Mercy is just go to Tasha's. It's just their Way of Mercy. Don't worry about it. But the with Shadow, Four Elements, and Open Hand are in this playtest. Okay. So they're going for 4 subclasses for a class in the playtest, maybe. Anyway, interesting. Subclasses, yeah, specialization, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Cool. So it's the first subclass feature at 3rd level for the monk, which is going to be standardized for all classes there. 4th level, get ability score improvement, or feat, probably ability score improvement for the monk, honestly, because they need all that dex and wisdom. Poor guys. 4th level, you get Soulful. Use your reaction when you fall to reduce any damage you take from the fall by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level. Sure. Your extra attack at 5th level. Woohoo. 5th level, Stunning Strike. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a simple weapon or unarmed strike, you can spend 1 discipline point to attempt a stunning strike. The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or have the stun condition until the start of your next turn. Okay, so a few things to unpack here. Some big changes to Stunning Strike. So before it was, you can do it for every time you hit, you can spend a key point, discipline point now, to do the Stunning Strike. Now it's capped at once per turn, you can try it. So you can't spam it, because it was a common monk thing, was just spamming saves until eventually enemy fails and gets locked in a stun. In addition to that, the stun condition only lasts until the start of your next turn, as opposed to before it was the end of your next turn. So you could benefit from the stunned enemy on your following turn as well, which is having advantage to hit them, to help you land more stunning strikes and keep them locked down in a horrible stun lock of anti-fun. Because yeah, I definitely found Stunning Strike was the best monk ability, but also it was kind of an anti-fun ability, because when you spam a bunch of saving throws at a big bad or whatever, they eventually fail to save, they get locked down, the big bad can't do anything anymore, and the fight just becomes everyone just kind of wailing on the big bad monster, and it doesn't get a turn anymore, and we're having fun just punching this bad guy who can't fight back until they die, and just rinse repeat. Yeah, so it's like it's kind of like, when a mono blue control deck in Magic the Gathering terms, for those who are familiar with that, succeeds and manages to successfully control and lock the game down. We were having fun. I mean, we do it once, sure, that was fun, but if you do it every fight, what are you doing? So I definitely approve of the once per turn limitation there. Kind of need to happen, because it was a bit silly when it got spammed out, and then just kind of made things a bit anti-fun to lock down constantly. But that also take away that beast feature from the monk, and also making it so it doesn't even benefit them on their next turn anymore. I feel like the monk needs some extra help in other areas to compensate for taking away their best feature. So, see you later, Stunning Strike. 6th level, in Powered Strikes. Whenever you deal damage with your unarmed strike, it can deal your choice of force damage or its normal damage types. Before it was just major attacks magical. Woohoo. So when you're punching people, especially at high level baddies who ignore, mundane damage, has to be magic damage, you can still punch them. You can punch ghosts, no problem. They've changed it to force damage. They're kind of getting rid of this magical tag on attacks and instead making it be a damage type. So it's not surprising there. Though I guess technically it is a little bit of a nerf, because some creatures are immune or resist force damage. So to watch out for that. Xanathar's been planning for this for a long time. He's not worried about monks dealing force damage to him. But yeah, Power Strikes. Not too much more to say there. Also at 6th level you get your subclass feature for the monk. 7th level we get Evasion. So just the same as before, and same as the rogue feature as well. Pass a dex save. You don't take half damage, you take no damage. Pretty good. Second level, heightened metabolism. You spend at least 1 minute resting. You can give yourself all the benefits of a short rest. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So this is a way of getting all your discipline points back faster to refuel your abilities. It is still a minute though, and if you can wait a minute, you can probably wait an hour. Let's be honest here. I really think that should be an action. This should be, you can spend an action to do this, because during combat, spending a whole action is a big deal. Like if you're going to build a massive fight, you know, you've got the option to spend an action to do this and go, cool. Yeah, I reloaded all my key points, whatever, healed up a bit, ready to go. I think that'll be way cooler, and better have action do that. And also still a costly endeavor to do. Also means outside of combat, yeah, before we move to the next encounter, I'll spend action. Use my heightened metabolism right then and there, because a minute, that's wait an hour then at that point. There's very rare cases where it's like you can spend a few minutes, but not an hour. I mean, it does come up, but not that as often. I think an action would be better here. And also I think lower level kick in for this, 7th level, because man, up to this point, you've been, those previous 6 levels, you've been struggling with those key points. You've had 2 to 6 key points this whole time, and then the whole hour to refresh them. You're really not using many of your abilities, like making it difficult and painful for players to use their abilities. Not great design, in my opinion. Anyway, that's heightened metabolism, 7th level. 8th level, you got the ability score improvement. 9th level, you got acrobatic movement. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on your turn without falling during the movements. Actually, you know what? Why don't monks get an extra ability score improvement like rogues and fighters? I feel like monks of all people would appreciate that, since they care about getting dex and wisdom up really high. Like, something one of those in somewhere would actually help the monk out quite a lot, I think. Anyway. What else we got? 10th level, self-restoration. Through sheer force of will, you can use a bonus action to remove one of the following conditions from yourself: charmed, frightened, or poisoned. In addition, foregoing food and drink doesn't give you levels of exhaustion. A little ribbon there, because that never comes up. So yeah, so you can use a bonus action. This was an action to do. Actually, end one of these conditions on yourself. But now you can do it as a bonus action. It was always an interesting one where it's like, oh, I can end the charm condition myself, but if you don't know you're charmed, or like you're charmed to be, you know, serve this other guy or whatever, do you have the free will to bonus action activate this ability to end the charm? I don't know. It's one of those interesting ones. Anyway, so a little bump there in the bonus action there. Design note: disease. In 2014 versions of the Monk and Paladin, both classes gained immunity to disease. That immunity has been removed from the playtest versions of the classes because the word disease doesn't have a solid meaning in the rules, and for years the rules have delivered disease-like effects through the poison condition. The game will continue to use the condition in that fashion. Okay, so they're getting rid of disease from D&D, at least the word, the kind of condition / not condition disease. Diseases still exist, they're just poisoning type things. Fair enough. Have less keywords to think about. Alright, 11th level subclass feature. You gain a feature from your monk subclass. Woohoo! 12th level, get ability score improvements. 13th level, deflect energy. You can now use your deflect missiles feature against ranged attacks that deal any damage type, not just bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. So you can grab and then throw back Eldritch Blast and a Warlock and that sort of thing. You can grab magic attack rolls, those firebolts and things with your bare hands and hurl it back, which is kind of cool. I don't know how often it would actually come up, but it's kind of amusing. I guess it doesn't have to be spells, right? So it could be those magic-like effects, actually, that a lot of the new monsters stat box have, where it's a spell-like effect, but it's not a spell, so you can't spell it, and you throw an attack roll out that does massive damage. You could deflect it, I guess. So I guess it could be quite interesting. There's no way of stopping it otherwise, really. Alright, 14th level Discipline Survivor. Your physical and mental discipline grant you proficiency in all saving throws. Additionally, when you make a saving throw and fail, you can spend 1 discipline point to reroll it and take the second result. Amazing. Such a powerful, powerful ability. So good. Yeah, you're like a paladin now, but just for you. Oh. So you pass all, you'll pass all saves. Don't know about the rest of your party, but you'll be passing the saves. Very good. 15th level, perfect discipline. We roll initiative, you regain 4 experience discipline points if you have none remaining. It's meh before, meh again now. 16th level, ability score improvement, which was actually, well, discipline was the stone for monk. So it's been buttoned on level 15, downgraded, which is good, thank goodness, because having an capstone was garbage. But even at level 15, it's like, sure, it's because it's there in case it comes up. Ability score improvement, you gain ability score improvement feat or another feat of your choice for which you qualify. Subclass feature, subclass feature, 18th level, superior defense. As a bonus action, you can spend 3 discipline points to perfectly bolster yourself against harm for 1 minute until you are incapacitated. During this time, you have resistance to all damage except force damage. Oh, you're a barbarian now. So 18th level, suddenly the monk becomes a barbarian. At the 11th hour, like, it's so late to suddenly be like, oh, I can resist all damage now. I can rage. Using my precious, precious bonus action, which I have 1,000,001 things to use that bonus action for as a monk. But I can spend it now to be a level 1 barbarian. Actually, no, it's all damage types. Force. More like a bear barbarian, I guess. Level 3. Okay. Sure. I'm not going to say no, which was earlier. Because you surviving until level 18. You're dead, die. Alright, 19th level ability score improvement. And then 20th level defy death. Your capstone ability. If you drop to 0 hit points, you can spend 4 discipline points, roll 4 martial arts die, and add the dice together. Your number of hit points instead changes to the total rolled, which hilariously could be higher than we had to start off with before you got hit there, dropping to 0. Each time you use this feature, after the first discipline point cost increases by 2. When you finish a short rest or long rest, discipline point cost resets to 4. So if you just somehow swimming in key points, not use it for anything else, you can defy death for a long time. This reminds me of that monk that's in subclass that's in the Soul Coast Adventurer's Guide. That one you can spend key points and not die all the time. It's kind of like that, but there's a capstone feature now. That's funny. Sure. I mean, who's dying at 20th level anyway? It should be so powerful that it'll be fine. But sure, there we go. Now for the subclasses. Warrior of Shadow. What's the Way of Shadow? They've got a bit of Shadowfell flavor here. Designer Warrior of Shadow updates. Shadow Arts has been redesigned, giving the monk dark vision a darkness that costs fewer discipline points than before, and the darkness can be moved each turn during the duration of the spell. Monk can also see in their own darkness. Improved Shadow Step is a new feature that allows Shadow Step to be used in bright light, and Cloak of Shadows has been moved to 17th level and redesigned to empower the monk while in dim light or darkness. Okay. So Way of Shadow, I think the player handbook subclasses was the better one. So we got Shadow Arts. Through rigorous training, you have learned to draw on the power of the Shadowfell, getting the following benefits. Darkness. You can spend 1 discipline point to cast the Darkness spell. Without any spell components, you can see within the spell's area. When you cast it with this feature, oh my god, what? While the spell persists, you can move this area of darkness in a space within 60 feet of you. You can move the area of the darkness into a space within 60 feet of you at the start of each of your turns. So you can move the darkness around just for free. Okay, and you can see through it. You're seeing dark vision. You gain dark vision with a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, its range increases by 60 feet. That's nice, because before it gave you just a dark vision spell you can cast, and it cost you to pay key points just to give yourself dark vision all the time, which is silly. So you just get free dark vision. That's nice. Shadowy Figments. You know the minor illusion cantrip, and can use Wisdom as a spellcasting ability for it. So that's no change there. But darkness, oh my goodness. That's Why are they encouraging more anti-fun playstyles? I don't understand. They're given Monk here the annoying playstyles that Warlocks do for a short period of time before the rest of the party looks at them sideways and go, stop that, what are you doing? Which is when you cast darkness and you hide in the darkness. So you can go in here in darkness, you can see through it, enemy can't see you. Enemy, disadvantage to hit you, they can't even target you at all. And you have advantage to hit them because they can't see you, but you can see them. And so you can walk around with darkness on you and just attack people with advantage, disadvantage to hit you, ongoing effect. Perfect, win-win-win, it's all great for you. The rest of your party who can't see through the darkness are annoyed because they can't get affected by darkness too, going, I want to disadvantage to attack these enemies, I can't see these enemies. It's very annoying, having this darkness around everywhere all the time. So yeah, it doesn't play well with others. I don't recommend it. It gets rolled real fast. But it's like your one trick in this build here. You get it, and it's like, well, I'm doing darkness, guys. So I don't love that at all. So, alright. But very powerful, like, oh man, like if you don't care about the, the fun at your table and the rest of your party, then definitely this is very strong, very, very strong. But what are you doing? It's so annoying. Alright, moving on down. 6th level, you got Shadow Step. While entirely within dim light or darkness, you can use a bonus action to teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see that is also in dim light or darkness. You then have advantage on the next melee attack you make before the end of your next turn. So it's same as before, very strong, just whenever you like, you can just blip around the place. No cost required, just your bonus action. It has to be in a darkened area. Cool. Level 11, improve Shadow Step. You can draw on your connection to Shadow to empower your teleportation. When you use your Shadow Step, you can spend 1 discipline point to remove the requirement that you must start and end in dim light or darkness for that use of the feature. As part of this bonus action, you can make an unarmed strike immediately after the teleportation. Okay, so you can pay for the privilege to ignore having to deal with darkness stuff with your Shadow Step. Just like, whatever, I just teleport, don't worry about it. And you get free punch out of it too. Sure, I mean, just move your darkness around with you. You're fine. Just move around your darkness. Don't worry about it. 17th level, Cloak of Shadows is a bonus action. While entirely within dim light or darkness, you can spend 3 discipline points to shroud yourself with magical darkness for 1 minute. When you're doing that already, basically, from level 3, there's a different way of doing it for more discipline points. Until you have the incapacity condition, or until the end of your turn in bright light. While shrouded in darkness, you gain the following benefits. You had the invisible condition. You kind of already had that when you're in darkness anyway, unless the enemy has a special way of seeing the darkness too. But sure. Partially incorporeal, you can move through creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, but you take 1d10 force damage if you end your turn inside a creature or an object. Sure. Shadow Flurry. You can use your flurry of blows without spending any discipline points. Okay. I mean, I feel like you should always have that anyway, but sure. You can punch extra time for free. As your 17th level feature. Yeah. There's a lot of double up here. Like, honestly, get level 3, get level 6, and you're good. Level 11, level 17 is just got bigger versions of the earlier ones, but don't do that much more, honestly. Comparison. Weird. Yeah, this was Shadow. Very strong, very powerful. Very annoying for your friends. Warrior of the Elements. So this was the 4 elements. That was infamously the worst subclass in the game. As player feedback surveys go, and I think most people agree with that. It was just real bad. It charged too many key points, or now discipline points, to you cast spells, and yeah, just overpriced, ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Very bad. Let's see what they did. So, Warrior of the Elements updates. This subclass, formerly Warrior of the 4 Elements, has been redesigned. Oh, here we go. Oh, even says here, it was often the lowest rated subclass in the 2014 Player's Handbook. Here are the main updates to it. Discipline of the Elements has been replaced with new features gained at the levels among normally gained subclass features. Elemental Attunement is a new feature that enhances the monk's unarmed strikes, with elemental powers replacing elemental discipline options like Fangs of the Fire Snake. Environmental Burst is now a feature that allows the monk to create a blast of destructive energy in an area, replacing elemental discipline options like Flames of the Phoenix. Stride of the Elements is now a feature that enhances the monk's Step of the Wind. Elemental Epitome is a new feature that further enhances the monk with elemental power. Alright. So 3rd level, Elemental Attunement. You have attuned yourself with the elemental forces of the multiverse. You know the elementalism cantrip. Alright. In addition, at the start of your turn, you can spend 1 discipline point to imbue yourself with elemental energy. The energy lasts for 10 minutes, or until you have the incapacity condition. You gain the following benefits for the duration. Elemental Strikes. Whenever you hit with your unarmed strike, you can cause it to deal your choice of either acid, cold, fire, or lightning damage, rather than its normal damage type. When you deal one of these types with your unarmed strike, you can also force the target to make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, you can move the target up to 10 feet towards or away from you, as elemental energy swirls around you. Okay. I mean, there's so many push and like knock prone abilities now for like weapon masteries and just mundanely pushing people and things like that. I mean, sure, have another free way of pushing people around. Reach. When you make an unarmed strike, your reach is 10 feet greater than normal as elemental energy extends from you. So you can punch further and never trigger opportunity attacks because enemies are never going to leave your reach. Hoorah! But I guess you're not getting hit because you're playing keep away, I guess. Reaching out, punching people, pushing them further back, reaching out, hitting them again. You can back up for free because you're not next to them to get hit. I guess that's what you're doing. So the way of the elements is just all about playing keep away. Stay away from me, push, push. You know, I punch you from reach and I back away so you can never actually close with me. I guess that's what they're doing. So while you're doing that, the enemy will ignore you and then walk up to your spellcaster, your cleric, or whatever, and wail them instead, I guess. Perfect. Alright, let's see what this, before we go further into the class, let's see what this new cantrip you get. Elementalism cantrip. Alright, the Elementalism cantrip. Transmutation cantrip for the Arcane and Primal spell list. Casting time 1 action, range 30 feet, verbal semantic components, duration instantaneous. Let's see, you exert control over the elements. Creating one of the following effects within range. Beacon of air. You create a breeze strong enough to ripple cloth, stir dust, rustle leaves, and close open doors and shutters. All in a 5-foot cube. Doors and shutters being held open by someone or something unaffected. Okay. Beacon of earth. Create a thin shroud of dust or sand that covers surfaces in a 5-foot square area. Or you cause a single word to appear in your handwriting in a patch of dirt or sand. Beacon of fire. You create a thin cloud of harmless embers and coloured scented smoke in a 5-foot cube. You choose the colour and scent, and the embers can light candles, torches, or lamps in the area. The smoke scent lingers for 1 minute. Beacon of water. You create a spray of cool mist that lightly dampens creatures and objects in a 5-foot cube. Alternatively, you create 1 cup of clean water either in an open container or on a surface, and the water evaporates in 1 minute. Sculpt elements. You cause dirt, sand, fire, smoke, mist, or water that can fit in a 1-foot cube to assume a crude shape, such as that of a creature or an object, for 1 hour. Okay, so just a big ribbon fluffy cantrip there. Very good. Now onto the 6th level feature, Environmental Burst. As a magic action, you can spend 2 discipline points to cause environmental energy to burst in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point within 120 feet of yourself. Choose a damage type, acid, cold, fire, or lightning. Each creature in the sphere must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes damage of the chosen type equal to 3 rolls of your martial arts die. On a successful save, a creature takes half as much damage. Or after you take this action, you can make 1 unarmed strike as a bonus action. Woohoo! So you get a little damage there. Doesn't seem particularly strong. At 6th level, like wizards and things that throw around fireballs, you're doing this subpar fireball. Very subpar. Alright. A level stride of the elements. When you use your step of the wind, you gain a fly speed and swim speed equal to your speed for 10 minutes. Woohoo! Sure. Seems level elemental epitome. When you use the elemental attunement feature, you also gain the following benefits for the duration. Damage resistance, you gain resistance to one of the following damage types of your choice: acid, cold, fire, or lightning. At the start of each of your turns, you can change this choice. Destructive stride, when you use your step of the wind, your speed increases by 20 feet until the end of the turn. For that duration, any creature of your choice takes damage equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die when you enter a space within 5 feet of it. Damage is the same type you choose of this creature's damage resistance. The creature can take this damage only once per turn. So basically, you kind of get like a free Shardland stride. Empowered strikes, although the opportunity attacks still work on you. Oh, it's step of wind. Oh no, it's step of wind. It's step of wind, so you got free disengage. No, they don't. So this is basically a Shardland stride. Empowered strikes. Once on each of your turns, you can deal extra damage to a target equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die when you hit with an unarmed strike. The damage is the same type you chose for this feature's damage resistance. And that's the Elements Monk subclass there. I mean, I guess it's improved. It's a lot shorter than it was before. All those random spell options there. Still very good. I don't see why anyone would play this. There we go. Alright, we're at the hand. So this was the Open Hand Monk. Updated. Open Hand technique now requires a saving throw for all 3 effects, not just 2 of them. Wholeness of Body now requires a bonus action rather than an action. We use more than once per long rest, and its healing is tied to your martial arts die and wisdom. Complete Step is a now 11th level feature that replaces Tranquility, and one of the lowest rated monk features. Quivering Palm is no longer able to deal an uncapped amount of damage, reducing a creature with any number of hit points to 0, which was too powerful for the number of discipline points. Okay. Open Hand technique. So when you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by your flurry of blows, you can impose one of the following effects on that target. At all, the target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or it can't take reactions till the end of your next turn. Okay, I guess stop people from shielding or counterspelling or something. Push, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw, or you push it up to 15 feet away from yourself. Topple, the target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, or has the prone condition. Good old top. Wholeness of Body, you gain the ability to heal yourself as a bonus action. You spend 1 discipline point and roll your martial arts die. You regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled plus your wisdom modifier. Minimum 1 hit point regained. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Alright. 3 heals as a bonus. So 11th level Fleet Step. You can easily stride out of harm's way. You can use a Step of the Wind option on your martial discipline feature without spending any discipline points. Amazing. Should have a free earlier, but whatever. Okay, Quivering Palm, level 17. You gain the ability to set up lethal vibrations in someone's body. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can spend 3 discipline points to start these imperceivable vibrations, which last for a number of days equal to your monk level. The vibrations are harmless, and you use your action to end them. To do so, you and the target must be on the same plane of existence. When you use this action, the target must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 10d12 plus your monk level of force damage. On a failed save, half as much damage on a successful one. You can have only 1 creature under the effect of this feature at a time. You can end the vibrations harmlessly without using an action. Oh well. Yeah, it's cute, does a bunch of damage. The hit and then spend action to set it off though. All right, and that is the monk. We did it. Hot diggity. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. Like, it's been so long working on the monk. I thought they were going to do more radical changes to the monk, because frankly, it needed help. And they have not delivered any help here to the monk. The monk is still too squishy. Like, needs either an AC and or hit point increase. And it's still very discipline point poor. So it needs something more to help it, especially early levels with those discipline points, because not being able to use your abilities at all. It's like you use your 2Q points or whatever in the first round and going, well, I can't use any of my abilities now. Because all my abilities are quite reliant on spending key points for the most part. So yeah. So that's fun too. Same trick got nerfed. I needed to happen, honestly. I agree with that nerfing there. But it is, they needed something else to counteract that, because a little on the weak side. Because, yeah, it's a weird one, monk. I'm not sure what, I never fully understand what role the monk fills in the party. It's like, okay, what exactly do you do? You run around and like a skirmisher, striker, punching people, I guess. But that, generally speaking, isn't needed or helpful, really. I don't know. Obviously, they've had, you know, people have great success with monks. So, but yeah, I just don't. Yeah, they never struck me as. I always feel a weird one where they fit in the party, what they bring to the table here. And this playtest has not alleviated my concerns there at all. So there we have it. That is the first of 7 classes we'll be covering in this playtest 6 for Only Not One D&D, the new version of D&D coming out in next year, 2024. All right, so they're really ramping up to get through these changes. Very, yeah, not many changes at all. We just see what they've done with the other classes, whether they've just done a little tweak approach like they've done here with the monk. I really thought they had a little bit more there. Yeah, what do you think? What should they have changed with the monk? There'll be feedback survey coming out at some point. I'm not sure when that's coming out yet. I don't think they've released a date yet for the feedback survey, but when it does, make sure you get your feedback in and let them know what you think. And if you want to catch more of these videos, I go over all these classes. The best way to do that is to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, like and subscribe, so you don't miss these videos as they come out on the YouTubes on the regular. I'll be spending a lot of time in the next few days going through all these classes and getting them up for you to go over. All right. Until next time, I'm Brad Thompson, and this has been Cutting Words. Happy gaming, and see ya.